commencer ici maintenant.
Happy holidays! I've got a gift for you. Buy 4 tarot readings or coaching session gift codes in any combination, and you'll receive 2 additional gift codes too. So use all 6 codes for yourself or share them with friends and family as holiday gifts, stocking stuffers, or maybe even birthday presents. These don't expire, so you can feel free to use them and share them throughout the year. Merry Christmas, and thank you so much for being my friends. Hi there, Pisces. This is your weekly reading for the week of December 28th through January 3rd. I wish you a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I hope everything goes your way and is everything you want this year to be. So make sure to go out there and make it so. On Monday, the card you've drawn is the Page of Cups in reverse. This is the card that I like to call the carp in a cup. There's something about it that always makes me laugh, even in the reverse. I'm not ameliorating that it could indicate that there's a surprise that is not necessarily pleasant, but considering that this is a weekly reading and a Monday, in fact, there's no astrological aspects to note on Monday anyway, nothing major. So I think that the best thing to do with this energy is to just kind of wake up, smell the coffee, and say, what just happened to 2016? Because it came and went very quickly. Tuesday, we've got the Strength card, which is a card that indicates there's no need to resort to brute force or any kind of forceful communication or forceful action, because nothing this week is really that imperative to force into place or to force into momentum. It just will pick up on its own. Nothing else you need to do about it. And of course, we know when the Strength card shows up, there's probably a challenge in some way or even a test of your patience, but such is life and people in it. We also have the Sun in Capricorn, your solar 11th house of friendships and group associations, your affiliations, the people you hang out with, the people that you work with, if you have kind of a habit of fraternizing with them, and it also rules the income from the career or your chosen path in that way. That is sextiling Neptune and Pisces, your solar first house, for sake of this discussion. And that tells us that there is an opportunity to perhaps benefit from spending time with your friends or being a part of whatever group effort they're involved in. It will probably help you feel like the holidays are flowing harmoniously and could help you get over some of those little more nagging, energetic combinations this week. So enjoy yourself for what it's worth. And just remember, though, that we've got a need to be patient in the very least with others, and maybe we need to temper ourselves. Mercury in Capricorn, again, your solar 11th house, will square Mars in Libra. Libra is your solar 8th house of joint resources and combined assets and as well as debts, tax issues, IRS issues, legacy money like an inheritance, even the way that you and a partner very close to you, if you have one, spends the joint assets or doesn't. The fact that this is a communication issue, we've got the Strength card, we've got Mars in your solar 8th house, could have you feeling a little more than free to communicate your thoughts. That's up to you because only you know what to do with it. I just don't think it's worth to say things that can't be retrieved. We can't take them back. So I believe the best way to handle this energy is to just let it go and see how the energy progresses over the course of the next few days. You don't want to spend New Year's Eve upset. You don't really need to go into any part of the week upset because we've got Mercury stationary getting ready to go retrograde next week. So, we need to be concentrating on getting things handled, finishing up some chores and tasks as they relate to perhaps this 8th house. Maybe you could spend the time getting your taxes in order, getting your paperwork together. My suggestion, by the way, while I'm saying this to make sure that you don't infer that I mean for you to go file taxes, I wouldn't file them in the United States, at least until after Valentine's Day, when Mercury is direct and back into its full force energy, so that there is no need to go back and have any do-overs, because we already are going to have a period now in this Mercury retrograde, which is the entire month of January for sake of interpretation. And there's going to be plenty that we're going to need to rework and redo. On Wednesday, we have the King of Swords in reverse, and this is an air sign. Could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Doesn't have to be, might be a rising sign. And this is also an individual who in the reverse, Lord, he doesn't care about what he says, who he hurts with his words, or what their feelings are in any way in particular. So this person could be a person in perceived authority figure. It could be an individual that represents somebody close to you. This doesn't have to be a male. It could be a very masculine female. And this could also represent somebody in a position of authority who does not take well to your commentary. So with that Mercury where it is and the fact that we could have a misunderstanding that may involve somebody that you're partnered up with, I would just be very careful and not say much. You know, the old saying that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Well, how about just don't say anything at all because you don't know how anybody's going to take it? I would just be very chill and go through the week and try not to react. If this is an individual who is not you and they come at you in some way, I suggest that you just let it go, de-escalate it, try to ameliorate it, try to let it go without any indication what your personal opinion is on it. If they say, for example, boy, well, the boss is really hating you and says that you've got one more chance at something, that's when you say, it'll all be all right. Trust me, everything always works out for the best, and that will help you. We also have Venus in Scorpio, your solar 9th house of long distance foreigners, foreign places, people at a farther distance, higher education, spirituality, your learning. This is also about your plans to improve yourself in some way that has something to do with taking it to the next level, a higher octave. And so we've got Venus there making it very sweet, but it's going to semi-square Pluto in Capricorn, that 11th solar house. So we have a conversation here that may frustrate you and irritate you. And maybe it's just simply because you had an idea and you told it to your friends and they poo-pooed on your idea that you want to go live in the Philippines. Or you're moving or have an idea that you want to go visit or even move house to another city, county, or state, because that could represent farther since everything is relative. And they say something about it that's like, oh, you want to move to Vegas? That place sucks. And you're feeling a little upset. And the irritation would be better soothed by, again, not saying anything, by perhaps using words, if you have to reply at all, like, well, everybody has their own path. And mine, I'm figuring it out, and it is my own. Again, I don't think I'd put too much in it. Venus will enter Sagittarius at about 11:16 a.m. Pacific time. Sagittarius is your solar 10th house of career. And again, just be careful with the words you use this week or what you intimate, what could be inferred from something thought to have been implied, etc. On Thursday, we've got the Magician in reverse, and you may be feeling not so powerful. You may be feeling like you can't affect a change, or it could be that you're feeling thwarted in your personal power because other people put your ideas down. So Thursday, we've got Venus in Sagittarius making an angle called sesquiquadrate, and it's making this angle to Uranus, and Uranus is in Aries, your solar second house of income, possessions, your money, your material things that you've purchased with it, that couch, your coffee maker, and the set of lipsticks that you just bought. So this discussion that is created is maybe where you feel that you have to invest some money in something that you feel will help you be more successful at work. And or it could be that someone else is saying, hey, you need to sharpen your image. You need to buy a new piece or two for your wardrobe to freshen that up so you could recycle the rest of it. And you may just get the feeling that you really need to put some money into this effort. But whatever it is, even if it is just like a friend at work who you've already had the discussion earlier this week would like for you to buy stock in their kids' Girl Scout cookie, project, just to give you an idea of the different ways this could manifest. And it could be that your brother says, hey, look, I'm building a new hover bike, and if we all get our money together, and you're kind of thinking, right now I've got debt, so I need to focus on that. You may just want to focus on taking care of what you need to take care of without going too far out there on a limb with this dreamy Neptunian thing that could have you seeing things that really are not as beautiful or accurate as they appear or as described. So I also wouldn't spend money on something technological regardless of what I think I'm going to do with it, because we're going into this intensified phase of the pre-retrograde shadow. And this could indicate that you would have more than enough difficulty. God forbid you buy a laptop and you're too excited and you open it up and you are in your vehicle and you're like, whoa, this isn't the right one. Or this one's refurbished. It's supposed to be, it's got a giant scratch in it. You get up, get out of the vehicle and drop that laptop. I could totally see something like that happening that would somehow interfere with your ability to return this object in its normal way. Technology, the way I describe the different things I've heard, like I think Best Buy is 10 or 15 days to return it without a stocking fee. Once you get back, and you could only, let's say, return it at that point if it's new and not refurbished. But there's all these little rules about what we've got. So I can see that you get upset because you're like, oh my God, and if I don't shoot myself in the foot, what is next? So again, allow that sensation to pass where you feel like you've got to go spend money. It could even be that you're feeling like spending money to make yourself feel more grounded, to feel happier, but there's going to be a change in the guard here. So I would hold off. I would just make sure that I give extra cushion to all my considerations, and that way you could be as safe as possible, and then be prudent. Be Capricornian, take everything in a Saturnian way and just be very serious about your considerations, and you'll be fine. Friday, we've got the Queen of Pentacles, and she could represent an earth sign female or rising sign. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, and or she could just be the person that in your mind represents the money. So she could be the banker, she could be the loan officer, she could be the person who handles your IRAs, she could have anything to do with this. And if this is none of the above and it's somebody in your life, personally, the good news is that she's very nice. She's got good advice for you should you seek it. And she's definitely not like that King of Swords. She would rather just walk away saying, whatever, and not engage a person like that. We have Mercury entering Aquarius at 6:28 p.m. Pacific time on Friday. And here we go into this intensified pre-retrograde shadow period, moves into retrograde. It's about to stand still and pedal backwards, right back where it came from, right back into Capricorn. So, we get a moment of like, eureka! And then all of a sudden it's like, what? I thought this was really great. I just had a brilliant idea. I'd buy 2 laptops instead of 1. Then my wife won't bitch that, you know what I'm saying? That's the kind of thing that you could have. And all of a sudden it's like somebody yanks you back, and maybe the wife says, hey, we're paying off this debt before you end up buying 2 laptops. And you're like, how did she know? Well, people get to know each other over time. So we also have the indication here that there is financial assistance available to you. But remember that no matter what, Mercury retrograde, especially going back into the 11th house for you, eventually is going to indicate that we need to rethink this, especially if it is in conjunction with friends and people that you associate with who said, this is the greatest idea ever. This is the most nutritionally stable water on the market. And then another one is like, that thing came out of a tap, dude, barely filtered. And you're like, don't put it down. This is going to save lives. And, you might want to wait until, Mercury goes back into Capricorn for you to tell me how you feel about it then. You might be the only voice of reason, that. So you might be the only voice of reason. Remember that that's also possible for those of you who are not often affected by your own ruler Neptune, no matter what it does. There's a lot of practical people out there, and it isn't because of their sun sign, rising sign, or descendant, anything else. It is because they've learned, not necessarily through their natal chart, but in life. They've been awake. They've not been on drugs, and they've been very conscious about what's going on. Saturday, we have the 9 of Swords, and this is a card that indicates that there is some anxiety looming that could either be detectable at this point. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Perceptible, even if you don't have a name for it, and you're like, oh, I'm just starting to get that kind of anxiety feeling. Now, this could indicate that you're just having difficulty processing your thoughts, processing information, and saying, gosh, I really want to put my rose-colored glasses on so I don't have to see things the way they are. And yet at the same time, I am so anxious about what I'll be dealing with once I really know what I'm dealing with. The conundrum with the 9 of Swords is that if we would just get out of bed, even if you can't sleep at night, get yourself refreshed, wash your face with some Noxema, splash your face around a little bit, get a little coffee or juice, and just get going on maybe studying things again, looking over where the points of concern, anxiety points, or contention, then you'll start to feel better. We've got, again, a reminder that the pre-Mercury retrograde phase is intensified. And again, this is not time to go buy things, pay for things, give money to other people to make it better. It's probably just not the right idea. Sunday, we have the Justice card in reverse. So something is making you feel like you're not getting a fair shake, or you were unjustly relegated to some pigeonhole or other type of designation that you didn't think was fair. And it may not be fair, only you would know. If you need to get some advice, get it from the Queen of Pentacles again, probably an earth sign or somebody who you associate with money. The King of Swords is not going to be the air sign male, is not going to be the person that you're going to get the right advice from. In fact, this person may have turned their back against you. So regardless of what the situation is, even if you don't feel that this situation is a fair share or even a fair estimation of your skills or abilities, or even if you really do have a court case or some legal matter as related to the 9th house, I think the best way to handle this is to let the universe show you where we're going to retrace our steps, which is where Mercury is when it stations retrograde, and then it moves back into Capricorn. Again, that solar 11th house, and it's going to walk right back over those degrees when it moves back into Aquarius and into your more quiet house, your house of your spiritual, your unconscious, subconscious, the house of self-undoing, the house of your past life associations, your early childhood life. It'll be more quiet there. So for now, just remember, Mercury will redo its part, and you and I, my friends, are going to redo ours. Have a wonderful week. Happy New Year again to you, and I'll be talking to you soon.